We say we go live at 9. We go live at 9. Well, I guess we'll see if anybody shows up. Hello and welcome to the Farmacy Network live stream, the Thursday night live stream. Usually more interactive with the audience rather than, hey, Nessie Monster, Geeky Gardens, how are you guys? Yeah, so I run a Sunday night net, which is a radio net, and so I don't get a chance to interact with the audience much in that net. So I run this live stream Thursday nights so I can chat with you folks. You crazy lot. How are you guys? Hey Geeky, we finally got some of your rain here. We got like an inch this late last night into this morning. Hey Chris! Or Chris or Darlene, or Chris and Darlene. How you guys doing? How's everybody been? Awesome. Let's see, I guess this camera's a hair high. Yeah, oh, Nessie, I was so relieved when I woke up and heard that rain falling this morning. I was like, and boy, what a difference it made in the soil. I was actually able to do some tilling this evening. Chris, the soil was so dry here that you went to till and you would just have a dust cloud follow you, and you'd maybe cut inch and a half into the soil. You couldn't get into it. Bloody cold. 3 Celsius. Oh boy, that's like 36 or 38 Fahrenheit, I think. Yeah, it's getting cold, Nessie. I don't envy you guys starting into winter. I'm so glad we're just into summer. Didn't rain today, so you spent a bit mowing the grass. Everything is growing. Good, Geeky. Things have really sprung up, even just overnight, or even today, with the rain shot we had. They were just starving for water. Oh, you were sitting through an ad. I was just saying hello. And saying we finally got about an inch of rain overnight into this morning. So glad for that. Other than that, you didn't miss much. How you doing? Yeah, I mean, you know, you're watching the Farmacy Network. You're not missing much if you're missing it. Gotta maintain a sense of humility, right? How are things growing down there, Jack? Have you uploaded an update? I haven't caught up on anything YouTube in like probably a week and a half, maybe 2. Rained all around you, but none there. You know, I watched that over the last couple days here, Chris, and finally, this morning we got some. But we often get that. The rain will come up through and hit all the mountains on the other side of the river, about 10 miles from us. And then as it crosses the river, it'll just dissipate, and it'll skip over us, and then it'll hit the mountains beyond us again, and start raining again. Like, it just totally dodges us, because we're like this valley where, like, you know, it's not as compressed, I think. And that, like, reduces the amount of, like, pressure, which reduces the amount of rain falling out of humid air or clouds. But it's really frustrating to watch heavy thunderstorms come at you and go, yeah, we're going to get the rain, and then have it just, nope, dodge by you and then pick up again on the other side. Makes you feel like the clouds are prejudiced sometimes. 90 and powder dry. Ugh, yeah, that's what it's been like here. Hot, sunny, and dry. It's been beautiful weather, but nothing's growing. It's so dry. Now we got a shot, but now I'm going to have to keep up with irrigation to keep it rolling. A basil update a few days ago and a pepper update the week before. Okay, I think I saw the peppers. Humid air. Humid. Hey, Mercurius. How you doing? Oh, yeah. Don't watch the news, Chris. You ought to know better by now, man. Excuse me. Yeah, the news is depressing. People come walking up to me and say all kinds of stuff about the news, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? I don't watch it. I can't be in that negative mind state all the time. Glad to hear it, Mercurius. T-storms came up from I-4 Orlando and Tampa. Seen storms split just before they get here and go on either side of me. Yeah, that's what they do here. They'll go north of us, they'll go south of us, they'll skip over us, they'll go east of us and west of us, and just totally miss us. You do. I knew you would. Yep. Geeky's got it. Don't watch the news. It's just self-torture. It is unintentionally hilarious, Mercurius. It gets more and more ridiculous every time I catch a clip, but there's just so much about it that just, I don't know. They focus on negative stories because that's what gets hits. But if you focus on negative all the time, it's really hard to amplify positive things in your life. So I tend to not watch the news to keep the negative out of my head so I can stay focused on positive things. You know, like I'll check in once in a while and see what's going on in the world, but I don't need to be flooded with it 24/7. You guys have a hurricane off the coast? We have to lower the curve. Oh wait, now we need a vaccine. Yeah. Yup. Sure, just line up and get your chip. Nope. Yeah, me too, Chris. I got enough problems without looking for any either. I got enough problems to solve right here at home. I don't have to worry about problems that are around the globe that I can't do anything about. I don't know, Mercurius. It depends on which chip you're talking about and what they're doing with it, because there's lots of new bio-nanotechnologies out. Oh, sure, you could hack the chip, Geeky. They're basically just RFID, from what I understand, with a long-term plan to monitor by satellite or something. I don't know. It's a weird world out there. Tropical storm messing up Big Rock. Okay. Problems, that's my middle name. Taco Tuesday on Thursday. What's going on, Brohamian? Also trouble, among other names. Yes. Agree, Nessie, agree. So what's the question, Mr. Taquito? Oh, thanks, Mercurius. You're watching the Ram Pump videos. Awesome. Yeah, that is a fun little device. I could sit and watch that thing run all day. It is so, it doesn't seem entertaining, but man, you sit there and just marvel that that thing just keeps running on its own. It's such a beautiful thing. It's fascinating. And it's fun, like, you know, upgrading it and, you know, adding water distribution systems, just kind of, you know, expanding the system as time goes on. Need some land and a river. Yeah, I know. I wish I owned this land, but I don't. Thoughts on Dr. Squatch natural soap? It's all right. If you really want to find clean makeup and health and beauty products, including soaps and I think toothpastes and all that kind of stuff, do a Google search for Nadine Artemis. I can't remember the name of her company. But she's also been on the Daniel Vitalis podcast. Why is Interaction with the Sun? Nadine Artemis. I think it's Daniel Vitalis number 51 or 52. Check that out.
Yeah, I would avoid soaps as much as you can. You got to remember your skin is loaded with pores, and so when you get in the shower and put toxic, soaps with chemicals in them on your skin in warm water, all those pores are opening up. You're soaking in some of those toxins. They say you absorb up to a quart of water while you're in the shower or bath. So if you got toxic soap on you, then you're absorbing that into your system, even though you're not using it on your dishes or consuming it orally. The double phase ram pump, is that dual valves going, or is that the one out of Asia where they claim to get gains by putting a higher output on the output side? I'm curious. Getting land seen yourself. YTFP, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Awesome. Where are you getting land, Chris? Toxic masculinity. Yeah. Right. Yeah, Geek, you're moving a little further north, right? Alright, let me find her site quick. It shouldn't be too hard.
Nadine Artemis. Health and beauty.
Living libations, that's it. Here you go, Taquito. Taquito! Living libations. Nadine is an awesome interview. She's been on a couple of different Danny Vitalis podcasts, and I'm sure other places as well. Let me catch up to chat here. Dr. Verner's or whatever it's called, the peppermint stuff. Oh, Dr. Now you got me mixed up in the name, but I know what you mean. The peppermint stuff creates sour rags. Easy, so I don't use it to wash hands. Tend to use it only when in a hostel. Creates sour rags. Oh, I understand. Like washcloth rags. Is that what you mean? Alaska. Nice. Wow, that's brave. The summers would be awesome. The winters would be brutal. The double phases where you have two columns of water and U connection between them. Something about the harmonic. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have looked at that, but it's a lot of tuning. I'm curious to get figured out, and I haven't had a chance to get back and play with that. I have lots of different versions and models I want to build and play with. But mainly I want to do an upgrade. I want to put a steel drive pipe on it, and I want to extend the fall a bit to get a little bit more efficiency and a little bit more water delivered up top. And eventually I'd like to build a 4-inch one off the pond as like an overflow. A 4-inch would deliver somewhere around 5 gallons a minute up top on the output, which would be awesome. But we'll see. It all depends on what happens with this property and my life and my degree of success and a billion zillion other things. But I always play and try to upgrade whenever I can, and I can afford the time and the money to do the upgrades or experiments. Dr. Bronner's cast iron soap. Yep. Yeah, I use there's a cast iron soap. I forget the maker, but I can get it in Hannaford's here locally. And that's what I usually use for the shower. Just because it's cheap, But if you want to get a good product, go to that Living Libation site. She makes really high quality stuff. All finest, purest ingredients. One Polly! What's going on, dude? What you doing? That's my thought, me curious. Alaska sounds awesome, but that winter, ugh. If I can go back somewhere south, like the Caribbean for the winter, and then go back to Alaska when spring comes again, maybe then. Yeah, geeky. Yeah, I don't know. It's just that's an awful lot of darkness and cold, and man, winters are hard for me here in New York. Like, no vitamin D, no sun. I get depressed easy. HTP 23,700, 23 gallons a minute, 700 psi. Oh, good lord. 700 psi. Oh, that must be a pressure washer. 23 gallons a minute. Holy crap, dude. At 700 psi, that's a cranker. I could foliar feed the whole farm in about 30 seconds with that. Montana sounds awesome too. I agree. But you know, all my friends and family are here, so it's kind of hard to just leave everything and everyone I know and the soils that I know and just go somewhere else. Yeah, I would take you with me, Nessie, if I could manage that. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever be rich in my lifetime. There you go. Keep the house for winter, Skeeky. Then I can come visit. Then I can get land up north. I don't know. Canada, maybe? Or Alaska. And then I can come back to Florida for the winters. And then we can garden together over the winters. There you go. Depends where in Alaska. South Alaska hardly ever gets snow. We're not that hot. Expensive. Yeah. Yeah, expensive too. Yep. I mean, just the sheer beauty and rugged terrain would be awesome, but there's a price of living like that goes with that as well. But I'd love to like get my pilot's license and do, you know, have my own plane and jump around that way. That would be awesome. But well, see, the problem is, Taco, there aren't tacos here all winter long, and if there were, I'd probably just gorge myself and pass out in a pool of taco. Yeah, pressure washer. Man, that's a nice pressure washer. That is mega cleaning power. Yeah, the taxes here are horrible. It's part of why I can't afford land here. That and like the city money comes in and they buy land here at prices that are nothing to them, but it puts it out of the market for people who live here and work in the area. I mean, real estate is insane here. Like, there are housing lots that are like 40 grand an acre for an empty lot here. Bolivia. I know, you keep saying Bolivia. I gotta look into that. I haven't looked into that. Yep, that's another problem too, Chris. Yeah, left Florida except me. I'm thinking somewhere in the middle of the U.S. Yeah, I don't know. The Midwest doesn't really appeal to me for some reason. I don't know. I guess I'm just too used to mountains and terrain and streams and rolling hills and forests. So it'd have to be like northeast or northwest mostly. Although I suppose there's lots of other territory like that, but I don't know. I'm just very used to the Hudson Valley, which is really diverse and really cool. I feel like gardens avoid South Dakota unless you want corn and pigs and cows. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really short season in the Dakotas as well. I mean, it's a short growing season up there. Oh, your uncle left you land. Yeah, that helps. My family sold all our family land up in the Catskills. I would love to have had and kept that. That was where like the family farm actually was originally. And then they lived here in Red Hook, and they had a family farm here. It was dairy and apples. And then they developed a bunch of the land, and then they gave a big chunk of the land to what is now the Red Hook Rec Park. And it's, well, I forget how many acres it is, but it's a huge piece of property with soccer fields and tennis fields and a pool and all that. So my grandparents actually donated that land. Oregon would be nice. Oregon would be awesome. I'd love to go see Oregon, even if I don't. Yeah, Virginia would be nice too. I know, too close to DC though. Moved to Montana in a minute if the little nacho and big cheese would go. Well, yeah, I mean, I hear Montana is gorgeous. Mom, 2 sisters in Oregon, but can't find anything worth buying. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize apparently the Northwest is blowing up real estate wise as well, huh? Hey, thanks one, Polly. Yeah, that worked good, huh? It was only like 5 days they were spitting roots. That's my trick for next year. No screwing around. I got a bunch of sweet potatoes left from last year that I'm going to just cut up into eyes and plant direct to. You ever do that, Chris? Homesteading? You ever plant like you do regular potatoes? Plant a sweet potato like that? 2,500 hectare. Well, a hectare is about 2.5 acres. Yeah, prolific, right? Did I get more? Get more what, Taco? Sweet taters? You don't think it works? Yeah, I was wondering if it would. I had some left over, and I figured I might try it. But maybe I should just cook them up and eat them. Cut up a dollar bill and plant it and see what happens. Well, I mean, if you're gonna do that, why not go all out and do $100 bill? I mean, let's grow hundreds, not ones. I know, I'm getting greedy. Mushrooms, morel mushrooms. I've never grown them or harvested, and I don't think I've eaten them either. But I am familiar with them. Yeah, I got them on my shirt. I don't know if you can see that. Plant beds and pull sprouts. Yeah, that's what I've always done is slips. Take slips, either sown into moist soil flats or right into water. I don't know if you saw what I did, Chris. I took 2 flats of potatoes that I started in soil so they would shoot greens, and I was going to just do cuttings off them, and they got all viney, huge viney. So I just took the vines and filled a bin of water and set the vines in the water so they would root out. So I figure I can just go through with the cutters and clip out rooted sections and plunk them in. What do you think? Think it'll work? It was like 5 days they spit roots out. Tons of morels in the Pacific Northwest. Okay. You have a money tree, Taco? You didn't tell me that. Where do I get a money tree? Some mine are from last year's sweet desert rescue from the compost pile. They're growing good. We'll see if they produce anything. Yeah, that was what I wasn't sure, Geeky, if they would produce anything. But I gotta think, once they get growing a vine, they're going to try and store as much of that energy back to tubers as they can. That's kind of how they're geared to survive. I don't know. It's worth a shot, right? Thanks, one, Polly. I mean, it worked out. I just thought, let's do simple. Hard to grow anything and make a living. Then when you do, they want and put you in jail. Yep. Or you go to sell to a local store or something, and they want you to fill out all kinds of corporate application forms to be a producer. Like the local supermarket here did that with me. I just walked out. I was like, I'm not filling out 800 piles of paperwork. So when I do sell produce, I usually work with restaurants or directly with a small group of people. I don't sell much of it. A lot of it I just keep and eat. It's more about, as much as it is about producing my own food, it's also more about education and learning about building soils and helping other people learn about building soils. So
it's a cross between a homestead and semi-productive farm and like a experiment. My whole life is an experiment, in all honesty. But that keeps it interesting.
Tomatoes do the same thing. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, they're pretty easy to root. I mean, you can take a tomato vine and just lean it over and pin it down with like a large flat rock so it's against moist soil, and it'll throw roots out. Same with squash vines, pumpkin vines, cucumbers. A lot of the different plants will do that. Hemp flopped, by the way. Flopped as in the price dropped, or flopped as in like got stormed and knocked over. Hey, Taco, thanks for stopping by, man. It's good to see you. Thanks for the thumbs up, Taco. Much appreciated. Maybe we'll catch you in the portal later. Thanks for stopping by, man. Happy if you get a little food from time to time. Yeah, I mean, I love eating from my own production. There's literally nothing better tasting that I've ever found around here. And that goes back to the nutrition and biology. Tremendous gains in flavor, and the health quality, the energy you feel when you're eating, truly healthy grown foods that are in balanced soils and all. There's a huge difference, and it's great to have your own food. It's also a lot of work and commitment, and things break and things don't go as you plan, and weeds come up and you fight them, and there's a lot to it. It takes somebody who's really resilient to keep doing it. There are years that I get through the fall and I go, I don't know if I'm going to grow anything next year. Like, it'd be easier to just take a season off. But every spring, I'm out there. Or this year, almost summer. It's late. But it's been a weird season. And I wait on the weather. Can't sell it, price fell to nothing. That's what I was afraid of, Chris. Everybody was telling me, oh, you got to get into hemp production. You got to get into hemp production. It's like, well, if everybody's going in it, this is like the stock market, right? Buy now and then the stock tanks on you. Well, now you just lost money. That sucks. Any idea why the price tanked? Was it like a market flood? Yeah, I'd love to make my own clothes from hemp too, Chris. That would be awesome. You're right, Juan Polly. It is play sometimes, but there are days where I'm like, this is a lot of work today. This is not fun. There are chores that aren't fun. But yeah, I love the earth for what she gives, for sure. And give it back to her. And the more you love her, the more she loves you. It's a symbiotic relationship. Any thought on aquaponics? Some, yes. I do want to do some aquaponics. If I ever get a bigger greenhouse, I'd like to do like tilapia or trout or some kind of fish in a pond system and circulate aquaponics through grow beds. I think that's the way to do it. Anything where you get away from the soil system, you get away from the biology of the soil system, and you lose a component there. So that's why I like to stick with soil-based beds, and aquaponics is a great way to manage that and thermal mass at the same time. So there are lots of benefits I see there. I'm just not in a position to set up a 12,000 or gallon tank and a huge greenhouse because it costs some money to put it up, and you got to have a site that's prepared for it and power to supply it, and it's an investment. But it's definitely on my list of things that I'd like to do before I kick the bucket. I have messed around with aeroponics previously. A demand shock, no money to buy. That's probably a part of it too, yeah. Big local problem, lots of people betting on it. Yeah, okay. Oh, the bees, yeah. Endless experiments I could do with the bees. Canada has dominated it. Okay, interesting. Just no market, I think. Price went from $25 a pound to $2 cost. 12 to grow. Ugh. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Wonder how much fish you get out of it and how long it takes to harvest. With tilapia, I think it was pretty fast turnover. At some point, there's a huge fish farm up in Hudson, I'm told, which is about 20 miles from me, to the north of me. And somebody was telling me they're doing all sorts of fish. They got massive. They took over like a warehouse or something. And they're doing fish in there. They're not using a greenhouse. They're just growing fish. But I thought about checking that out. I think with tilapia, I think it's like 60 to 90 days you can get a decent sized fish out and be flipping them over. But it comes back to maintaining water temperature correctly. You are going to have to feed them. So that's the other side of it for me. I don't want to have to go buy feed inputs, because as soon as I have to do that, that ups my operating cost. So I'm very careful about that. Like the chickens are one thing I chose to do because that gives me eggs and fertilizer. And I really enjoy watching them. But ordinarily, in my prefer to stay closed loop system financially as much as I can, I wouldn't add some feed like that. So I'd have to figure out a way to grow my own feed for fish. And I don't know what you would grow that would be high protein enough and available, digestible to a fish without a lot of processing. So there's kind of an equation there for me to tackle on that perspective. You're curious, if you have any opportunity to keep bees, do it. It's something I tell everyone. Oh man, you'll never learn more cool stuff in your life. You'll never be more fascinated. China is the largest hemp producer, but again, they produce everything. Yeah, and everything they produce seems to be contaminated with heavy metals, and I mean they're growing fish over there on chicken crap. Literally feeding fish chicken crap directly. Like, I'm speechless, you know. Temp intolerant. Yeah, I understand they like about 70, Geeky.
Below 50, so they tend to die. You'll eat duckweed if you can find. Duckweed. I think that was one of the things I came across when
I did like a light research glaze on this for a while. You're right, duckweed. So you could grow duckweed if you had a big enough water pond or tank inside your. Here we'd have to have it in a greenhouse to go over the winter. But then you could probably grow duckweed. They could eat the duckweed, and then that would close the majority of your loop. You probably still have to do some supplemental feeding, but that might work. Yeah, I try to employ that a lot in the summertime, although I got to do some repairs on my chicken tractor, I'm curious. But yeah, the grass is great, and they go after the worms, the grubs, the bugs, and man, you get a really dark orange egg when you let them free range. The eggs are just incredible. They don't like spill out in the pan. They like stand up. They like stay in like they're very gel-like almost. Amazing.
Yeah, no regard for future. Exactly. Wait until you hear about gutter oil. Oh no, I heard about gutter oil. That's even more disgusting. Did you hear about that on the Rogan podcast? I think. Yeah. Ugh.
The thought is just ugh. What is wrong with someone's head?
Not sure they buy hemp seeds, mostly candidate for hemp hearts and such. Hemp brings up heavy metals easy. Yeah, exactly.
It locks up heavy metals very easily. So you got to be careful you're not growing it in contaminated soils. Otherwise, instead of taking medicine into your body, you're taking contaminants into your body. Or contaminants in medicine, but counter effect isn't good. Has to be separate, or I think it takes the nutrients out.
Grow duckweed in a couple of half 55-gallon barrels. Once you have it, you'll always have it. Fish can't eat it fast enough. Ah, awesome. Thanks, Geeky. Thanks. Make smokable hemp illegal here, halfway through growing it. All that was selling.
Oh, that's all that was selling. They made smoking it illegal? What is going on in these states? Like, New York, too. We got some dumb stuff going on regarding cannabis and hemp. Like, why are you not legalizing something that's clearly medicinal? Oh, because you want to profiteer on it first. Frustrating. Yes, they can. In fact, Paul Stamets had one experiment he did where they were cleaning up toxic nuclear wasteland with mushrooms, which was really interesting. They made smokable hemp. Let's see. Not on Rogan, but other places. Yeah, maybe I didn't see it on Rogan either, but ugh, yeah, gutter oil. Why? Just why? Thoughts on moringa? I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I'm sorry. But, you know. I know it's good health-wise, but I don't know anything about growing it. But it's good for you that you mention that, because it's one that I want to get on my list of things to grow. But I gotta build a bigger greenhouse soon if I'm gonna add any more stuff to my collection. Taxes and regulations, yep. Always. Hey, Chris. Yeah. Eco spills and oil too. Yes, exactly. Yeah, really cool stuff. Actually, they were. What was the one mushroom they were growing right in a container of oil? They were consuming the oil and growing. Amazing.
Fellow garden brought you a moringa plant. Grow like crazy. Awesome, Geeky. Bust up there was from here, I think. Started it all. Huh. Yes, I have grown tobacco, one Polly. Hey, Bomber! Whoop, whoop! BLB was in the woods, and you were hanging in the woods with the BLB. Hope they're all well over there. Live the whole time. They're always live the whole time. Those guys are crazy. Yeah, one Polly. I've grown tobacco. Maryland, Virginia, and Oklahoma Mennonite. I've grown probably about 5 or 6 different types of tobacco. It's been quite a number of years since I've grown it. I've never had a setup for properly curing and drying it, but I want to get back to that at some point. I want to be growing my own tobacco for my cigarettes. I'm actually a smoker. Yeah, Geeky Gardens. It's Geeky Gardens. This is his channel. I'm curious. Check it out. He's got a cool channel. He's a gardener down in Central or South Florida. Central, I think, right? Well, B.O.B. always has beer nearby. Come on. PPP. Nothing big. Mainly a hobby and therapy. Yeah, but he's always doing something cool. Yeah, I buy this stuff called Farmer's Gold. It's technically a pipe tobacco. It's actually pretty nice stuff. It's just tobacco. And I've been smoking that for, I don't know, probably 10 years now. And I can't even smoke a regular cigarette anymore. Like, I've bummed a cigarette from somebody and I can't finish it because I can taste the chemicals in it. That's how much different it is from just tobacco. Man, that's quite a splinter. Or is that a cut? Huh. Let's see. Never even seen a seed for tobacco. Oh, they're very small. Like really small. They're like smaller than a poppy seed, I would say, or maybe about the size of a poppy seed. Oh yeah, they were really drinking it up, huh, Chris? Shameless plug. Yeah, Geeky, throw your channel down. Chris, Homesteading the Hard Way, throw your channel down there too. Nessie, you too. All my YouTube peeps, throw your channels out there. Let these people see where you're at. Can someone tell me where I can get chocolate cake and cheeseburger trees? I'd love to grow them. I don't know, but if I ever find a cheeseburger tree, you're going to find me passed out underneath it. gorged myself to death, and same with a chocolate cake.
Good Lord.
I'll just be passed out at the base of the tree, covered in burger juice, cheese, ketchup, chocolate, and frosting. 1.5 minutes behind. Well, it takes a long time to get upstairs, Bomber. Grow burley, it will air dry. Ah! Thank you, Chris. I will check that out. Because, yeah, I was having trouble getting a nice cure. Wish you could grow some in Florida. Bethany, I always wanted to try one ever since seeing them on Green Bean Show.
As in wood betony? Is that what you mean?
So cool that a small seed can make such a plant. Oh yeah, it's amazing. One of my older videos, search tobacco in my channel, One Poly. I got some videos of, in fact, I think there's one, I don't know if I put that up yet. There's one of a tobacco plant that I grew that I was foliar feeding, and the tobacco hornworm went after it, and he died because it was producing too much plant oils, and he couldn't hack it. It actually killed him. That was pretty cool. Probably could grow chocolate trees here, but you have to supply the flour. So Nessie, I think we need to make a deal with Geeky on chocolate trees. COVID times. Help with the tobacco professor.
Yeah, you could help with the tobacco. I forgot. You are extremely
Experience with tobacco. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that at some point, Chris. For sure. Florida Bethany looks like a grub. Edible. A grub or a shrub?
I know people eat grubs too, but
I didn't have you as a grub eater. Your ears still hurt? From what? It's raining links in here.
yeah, I think I got something stuck in my finger here. Splinter or something. I have to pick at that with a knife later.
Yeah, see, Nessie will find the flower if you grow the chocolate, Geeky. Yard full of it, Geeky. Eats weeds is green tea, an all-time favorite wild edible food channel. Did a video on it. It looks like a... Look at this grub. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, right. Exactly, Chris. I mean, if anybody's got experience with it, you do. Oh, yeah, link to Nessie. If my browser will react. React. Oh boy. She's hanging up. Ugh. I see monster channel. Come on, meow. Oh. What was it, Crazy Neighbor, Nessie? I'm trying to find your channel. Can you drop us a link for your channel, Nessie? YouTube's being a, you know, criminal life. I don't know how to do links, sorry. SC Monster, thank you, Geeky. Much appreciated. Nice when you get a chance. Barry knocked himself out of the group by accident. Yeah, thanks, Geeky. Much appreciated. Yeah, I know. I was having trouble finding it too, Bomber. I'm subscribed to it and notified for it, and then I can't find it when I do a search on YouTube for Nessie Monster channel. I even put in Nessie Monster channel crazy neighbor. Not Dan.
Yeah, was it something he said, or is he a mod? And he just modded himself out. Oh, okay, Nessie, sorry. Yeah, she probably would try to sue you, that crazy person. So I don't know. What else? Yeah, you should share the link with the crazy neighbor. Apparently this lady is looking for an elite husband. It's raining men? I never heard that one. Feeling good about your garden?
Mountain tout, green beans, cauliflower, courgettes, and carrot. Nice.
We just got enough rain to get soils opened up here. I'm getting ready to plant in the next couple days, actually. Which is late. Usually I would be planting by now. But we've had a weird spring. And, you can't force it. Potatoes cut up in a little soil. 2 big pots, nice. Potatoes are such a nice thing. Excuse me. Same. So many Nessie monsters. Yeah, I know. She knows how to hide in the crowd. Sweet potatoes are growing nice this year, finally. I hope they produce something awesome, Geeky. Yeah, I know. There's a ton of Nessie Monster videos. Like, you search Nessie Monster on YouTube, and it's like 50,000 results. Like to grow and also try Jerusalem artichoke. Never had them. Here they make you gassy. They do make you gassy, but they're delicious grilled, or fried in a pan in butter with some garlic and onions. Throw a steak or a fish or whatever your, chicken, whatever your meat of choice is in there. I like them best roasted on the grill. They come out really good that way. The reason they make it gassy is they're high in a fiber called inulin, but that actually works in your benefit digestively. And they're perennial and they're prolific. What I will say, if you plant them anywhere, plan on them taking over that area, and that includes anything up to 2 inches thick of blacktop. They will grow through it. So be prepared, because once they start spreading, there ain't no stopping them. Unless you can mow all day long.
She crazy when she was out front in a wedding dress with It's Raining Men blasting on the stereo.
Except it's not raining men over there.
Wait, what are you trying to get a photo of, Mercurius? What? This whole computer is... No one can ever get a photo of what, her neighbor, you mean? Who knew She lived by a locker, had a 12-foot long neck. Camouflage amongst the other cryptids, nice. Asked me for $3.50. About $3.50. Sorry, Chris, the bugs found the cabbage collars. I'm leaving the bed because they're keeping bugs away from my peppers so far. Oh, boy. Yeah, those bugs are frustrating. I'm telling you, Geeky, you gotta balance out those soils more. Choose some artichokes are easy to grow, store well on the ground. Yeah, exactly. And they propagate themselves, and they're excellent soil builders, and they draw in a ton of earthworms, and they support pollinators, and the canes are great for staking things, and like just every kind of resource from fiber to food to pollinator to soil health, they're excellent. You can really build soils tremendously. I mean, you think about a 15-foot high plant with its leaves all over it, photosynthesizing. Think how much exudates and sugars that can put down into the soil and how fast that can build carbon in soil structures. Boom shaka! Yeah, raised beds might be a good idea. Don't let a tuber get out of there because they'll take off. Got more seeds, get you no worries. Photos of the nesting monster. Photo of the nesting monster. Oh, photo of the nesting monster. Yeah, okay. Camouflage amongst the terrorists. When I come back. Homeless Korean bomber. Big drama. Gotta run. All right, Chris. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Watch out for the pig drama. That's never good. I think she might fall outside their jurisdiction, Chris. She's Canadian, eh? They're pretty small. I kept eating them all winter. But I stopped eating them a couple months ago so they could grow. Okay. Yeah. That'll do it. That'll slow them down. So yeah, I don't know. What else? Do any homebrew? Not recently. I have in the past. I do want to brew again at some point. I just haven't had the time or the money for it. I actually had a kegerator set up so I could take a 5-gallon soda keg. You know, like a dark chocolate porter beer on my homebrew. And I'd take that and I'd let that, sit for a month or two and kind of settle. And then I put it into a soda keg, a 5-gallon soda keg, and inject it with CO2. And oh my God, awesome beer. The problem is this glass tastes like another. And before you know it, you drank the whole keg. And then you got to brew another batch. Moose land security, maybe. Hey, Bell Prepper. What's going on? You been lurking? You been lurking? Oh, mead. Yeah, mead is what I want to do next, now that I have the bees and the honey. I've wanted to do mead for years, and it was just like, I can't pay $10 a pound to go buy 20 pounds of honey to make a batch of mead. But now I have my own honey, and and yeah, so I definitely want to make a mead, maybe with some of the elderberries that I have here on the property. I think that would be awesome. I also want to make a hard cider with some of the apples from the apple tree. Yeah, if we knew anybody with bees, I know, Geeky. Who do you know with bees? I can't seem to think who that might be. Hiccups. You got hiccups, Bomber? You been drinking, bud? Is that your new hobby?
with bees? I know, but who do you know with bees? Who's got bees? Lurking out, lurking at the ballpark. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good, Bill. Yeah, honey is expensive, especially if you're gonna make a mead. You should start with a good, fresh, raw, local honey, and that's even more expensive than just buying honey at the store. But it's so much more diverse. This message was deleted. There would be Neebinus could roll around and play Renaissance Fair. Yeah, that'd be awesome. New hobby. Yeah, a new hobby, Mercurius. I have a new hobby every week. Keep adding to them. Oh, my first baby chick hatched out today. I haven't had a chance to edit that video yet, but that was cool. How much for a starter colony? Well, just the hive body stuff, you're going to spend probably $250 to get a good double deep brood box, a cover, bottom cover, you know, the basics. Like probably going to spend like $250 for like a basic hive kit and like a smoker and brush. Still need a bee suit. That's another 60 to several hundred depending on what you get. This message was deleted.
What else? Then you need bees. You can probably buy a nuke in the spring for like maybe $250 to $400. It's really not cheap. But once you get set up, then you can make your own splits. You can do a lot of your own reproduction and capture swarms and that kind of stuff once you get going. But all of that equipment up front is expensive. Like I have to add 4 more boxes to my hives this year. And between boxes and frames, the cheapest I'm going to get away with on that is $160, and that's if I put wax foundations in myself. If I get frames with wax or get plastic foundations, it's going to run me more like $60 a box. So $240. That's just to add 4 deep supers onto the hives I have. So it is expensive to get in, but it's well worth it. And you can make your money back for sure. Like, you know, between selling honey and wax and pollen and bees and all the other things, you can really turn it into a profitable operation if you want. Oh, my grandpa again. Oh, thanks. Yeah, the baby chick was cute. He was running around in the incubator, and I heard him chirping. I was like, "What's chirping?" And I was like, "Oh, right, the incubator. I haven't checked that today." Do some advice on what chickens do to keep kind of coldish, wet climate. Just build them a good coop. They're pretty resilient, and get a resilient strain. Like Icelandics or something like that. They're good for hot and cold extremes. My birds stay out in the coop all winter. We get some pretty raw weather here. Grandpa Farm. I need to buy a centrifuge. I actually was given one, fortunately. Eventually I'll probably buy a nicer one. But no, I was given one. But yeah, you'd need to buy a spinner if you're going to spin honey. Yeah, you know, every step of the process adds costs. So it's not a quick and easy thing, but you can start small, and you don't have to spin honey out if you're just making for yourself. You can cut comb out, or you can crush it into a colander and drain it that way. There's other ways to do it on a small scale. You know, it doesn't have to be crazy expensive. You don't have to go buy all the newest, latest, and greatest equipment. You can manage. What is there to a beehive that isn't 2x2 and planks? What am I missing? Frames, foundations, covers, inner and outer cover, and the bottom board. Basically, you're not missing a whole lot, but you know, they're to specific dimensions, and the inside is chamfered, so your frames will sit inside and not be sitting up against the bottom of the other box, making a space. You know, if you have the right woodworking tools, it's not hard to make them, actually. You gotta have the right tools. Nah, we'll have to be just spin around really fast. Don't forget to film it for us. Sigh. Flow hive thing looks expensive, but you don't need the smoker and centrifuge. Check out Frederick Dunn's channel. He does a review on the flow hives. He talks about his flow hives. He has a couple. He likes them very much, but yeah, they're about $750 or so for a flow hive. But yeah, then you're not messing with wax or anything. It's a pretty simple way to do it. So that's a thought. Yeah, my chickens here are Icelandic chickens. Only breeder I know of in the country, last I looked, was in Wisconsin. And last I knew he was backed up 3 years, but that was like 5 years ago. So he may have upped his supply rate. Do you use bottom boards with screens or solid? I like the screen, but what I do is under the screen I have it's a mite board for catching. It's a white plastic board for the mites to fall out on, so you can do mite counts, and I slide that in under the screen board. But if it gets really hot, I could pull that out and let more airflow in during the summer. But I find the bees manage airflow in the colony just fine. As long as the hives aren't in direct sunlight all day, that can really make it difficult. Oh, if you got a friend with a wood shop, yeah, you could make your own for sure. Yeah. I'm sure you could find a dimensional drawing. Like, I'm sure if you Google make your own beehives, I'm sure there's somebody doing it. And it's probably a YouTube video on it. Something I thought about doing too, but I just, like, by the time I buy the lumber and take the time to go cut that, like, there's other things I need to be doing, so I just, like, I'll just drop the $20 for the box and another 20 for the frames, or 40 depending what I do. But bees are a lot of fun, and I'm learning a lot about them, and I finally feel like I'm starting to better understand how to manage them effectively. Although I'll probably look back in 2 or 3 years and be like, ugh, dummy. Oh, and actually the Paranormal Portal should be starting right now, and I don't want to hang up on that live stream. I want to go over to the Paranormal Portal. So you get someone to scrap wood, you'll save so much money. Yeah, there's places you can get wood cheap too. So thank you everyone for coming to the Pharmacy Seeds Network Q&A live stream chat. Yeah, mite board. There you go for the yard art. Yeah, if you haven't seen the Paranormal Portal, I'm going to head over to the Paranormal Portal and check that out. Brent runs a good show over there. Very interesting stuff. Thank you guys for coming into the live stream this evening. Greatly appreciated. Excellent to interact with you and talk with you, and we covered a range of topics, which is always nice. So thank you all. Thanks for supporting the Pharmacy Seeds Network. And thank you, Geeky, for dropping that link. We'll see you guys over there. Have a good evening, everybody.